Yeah, I mean, look, Jake Paul got $40 million. Tyson got $20 million.
Yeah.
They sold out that whole Dallas arena.
By the way, it's the highest gate, 17 point something million dollars. Highest gate. Just the gate. So people who pay for them tickets, 17 point something million. So if people are just thinking about where are these numbers coming from, 60 million? Well, Netflix broke like 18 times, okay? Yeah. Or you could watch the picture, but you couldn't hear the sound. We all seen that. But 17 point something million, they actually estimate it's more. They claim it's closer to 20. But the official just off, I think Ticketmaster was 17 point something million dollars just for the gate. Okay, what do you think Netflix is paying? Netflix reportedly paid 20 or 30 million just for like Dave Chappelle to do one stand-up, right? This was going to be a whole event with other sponsors. You see Celsius in the ring. You've seen all these other things. Meta is on the ropes.
Yeah, Bud Light, I think, is up in the rafters. Yeah, the whole thing.
So if anyone is, I'm a super pocket watcher. I'm always like, how much are they making? Definitely made, I see the 40 and the 20. And I'm going to be honest with you, great finesse. I can't be mad at how another man is getting his money. But us fans, I was disappointed because I did kind of fall for, the banana in the tailpipe a little bit. But I'll be honest, around the third round, I was like, it's kind of weird. I'm like, I want to see a knockout, but don't kill Mike. If you kill Mike, I'm going to hate you. But I don't even know what I wanted because I don't think Mike was going to knock him up, but I don't want Mike to get knocked out. If Mike had gotten knocked out and first of all, he was already doing this thing where it looked like he's trying to, you know what I mean? Like,
that
this
was
is the
so
McDonald's
weird.
fry grab right here.
His mouth guard kept coming out. Like, literally, half the time was spent him trying to put his mouth guard back in.
Yeah.
It made no damn sense.
Well, I'm just, listen, he deserved that finesse. Could you agree?
Oh, listen, 20 million? 20 million. Because at one point, I remember I talked to Mike about this when we interviewed him. He burned through $300 million.
Really?
Yes.
Like, actually, burned through it.
He would do wild shit. He would do stuff like...
What happened to the tiger?
Yeah, I mean, he had a tiger in his house. That's one part. But for example, there was a story where he was with Don King. They checked into a hotel right before the fight, and he had just bought a brand new Lamborghini. And as he's pulling the Lamborghini up, he doesn't really know how to drive it too well, and it scrapes against like the wall or something. He's like, he looks at the valet, he goes, "This is bad luck, you take it." And the valet's like, "What?" Don King's like, "Take the car. He's giving you the car." He just gave a Lamborghini to a valet guy because he thought it was bad luck.
Damn.
Think about that. That's like the equivalent of what? $300,000 today? Like,
yeah, I always hear these type of stories.
That's $250,000 right there.
I heard Allen Iverson just left the car in the parking lot because he couldn't find. Like when I hear that, I'm like, how easy did they think money was coming to them, or did they just believe it couldn't stop? Because I haven't heard that about people now. Like, and people now have a lot of money too in their respective aspects, but I've never heard that type of insane stuff. Like, yo, we just left the keys. Fuck it, valet, take the car.
Man, you see some ignorant stuff, man. I've been in nightclubs where people order bottles of Cristal and pour it into the ice bucket just to do it. Just to do it. Think about how much a bottle of Cristal costs in a club.
Okay, so are you agreeing?
Just to do it.
No, I get that. So
2 bottles, double-fisted.
So are you agreeing with this whole philosophy? Because I heard Fat Joe say, he said, well, I think he's broke. Or he might need the money. Not broke, but he needed the money. Lennox, who looked pretty different when he was on the broadcast, but he was pretty good. He said, hey, I don't know why Mike would take this fight at this age, but he probably needed it. And I'm only thinking in my mind, like, don't we all need 20 million?
Yeah, who doesn't need an extra 20 million?
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos could use an extra 20 million.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
Elon Musk wouldn't mind an extra 20 million.
I don't know about them niggas. They're kind of little.
No, I'm joking.
20 million is 20 million.
20 million is 20 million. Just because compared to your other bag of money, it may not be a huge percentage, but think about the lives you could change with $20 million.
True.
You could give 20 friends $1 million and change their lives forever.
Fat Joe also said something that was important. He said, and I think this was very popular among older stars, whether basketball players, boxers, or even musicians. He said he was very proud that when Mike walked out, Mike was by himself.
Yeah.
And he wasn't with a bunch of hanger-ons and people who essentially were draining him or sucking him dry. And I was just like, damn, yeah, I guess Mike does come from the era of the entourage where you're living good, they're living good, you're paying for your lifestyle, their lifestyle, and all these other people's lifestyle. And until you break free of that, you're probably just hemorrhaging money.
Look, I remember, and Mike said this in our interview. He said that at the time, at his height, he was making more money than all his peers. Meaning he was making more money than Eddie Murphy. He was making more money than, maybe not Michael Jordan, but possibly more than Michael Jordan. Actually, he might have been making, because he's making so much per fight.
Yeah.
He was the richest guy out of everyone. So, he didn't really know how to handle money. The money was coming at an insane rate, because not only was he doing, the actual fighting, but video games, this, I'm sure people were just paying him money just to hang out, everything else like that. So, for example, we interviewed Ed Lover, and they were hanging out one night, and Mike Tyson's like, hey, here, take my Bentley. Threw him the keys to the Bentley. He's like, okay, thanks. He drove it around for a little while, and he parked at his house, and he was trying to get a hold of Mike Tyson, couldn't get a hold of him. So the car was just parked, in his garage for like months. At one point, one of Mike's people called him up and was like, hey, Mike wants his Bentley back. He goes, okay, just come to this address, come pick it up, I'll give you the keys and so forth. Guy came, got the Bentley, whatever else. Didn't think anything of it. A couple years later, he ran into Mike again. He goes, oh, by the way, your guy called me and asked for the Bentley back, and I gave him the keys. He's like, nah, man, that guy was a crook. I wanted you to keep that car. I gave you that car. I didn't know that guy even did that. That guy was a crook. He stole from me.
Oh, man.
I see Mike come in. He's standing by the bar. Of course, I got to go holler at him. That's my man. I'm talking to Mike. People coming by. Hey, champ, how you doing, man? How you doing? Good. Hey, Ed Lover, what's up, bro? Mike goes, Ed, it's been a good life, right? I'm like, yeah, Mike, it's crazy. He said, people still call me champ. Man, I ain't been in the ring in over 10 years. People still call me champ. Yeah, it's been a long time since you're on TV Rats. People still know you. They know everything. So, man, remember we used to go out to Nels and shit, have a good time and all that. I said, remember that spot we went to in Queens with the Jamaican bitches? I was like, yeah. So remember that night I gave you the Bentley to take to your mom's house? I was like, yeah, I remember that. He said, I gave you that car, right? I said, what? He said, I gave it to you. I wanted you to have that. You was my man, and I knew you couldn't afford a Bentley and nothing like that. So I like having all my friends, be fly. I just really want you to have that. He said, John and them came and got that. These jealous motherfuckers, right? I was like, yep. I said, you tell John Horn if I see him, nigga, you owe me $400,000, all right? Because this nigga gave me a Bentley and you came and got it. I didn't know it was mine. I said, why you ain't tell me? Like, yo, I was getting high, Ed. I remember I gave a lot of cars out. Like this. Gave me this shit.
I just had a lot of money back. I had more money than anybody in our community had. Even every entertainer, I had more money than them.
Yeah.
So I never had money before. So that's what you do when you never had money. You buy a lot of goodies for you and your friends that never had money.
That's the kind of things that were happening. He was giving millions of dollars away, and other people were stealing those millions, and it just kept, ballooning.
The interesting part, there's two things that's interesting to me, even now, and I'm trying to think about his life. So he does have a podcast. He had some type of podcast.
Yeah, that's done.
Okay,
well, he stopped it while training for the fight.
Okay.
But that's not a big money maker for Mike.
No, I get it, but
he also has a weed business.
Okay. So he does have these ancillary forms of income. He's Mike Tyson at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if he's also addicted, because I know a lot of people are, to, like, especially if you've made money in a certain way. If you do what we do, a lot of times we go do content, like you're doing this now. You went to Savannah, you did stuff with Quandered around a little too. But the returns come way later, right? It comes over time, right? It might be an interview that does maybe 3-4 million, but maybe over 2 years, right?
Yeah.
And we kind of get used to gaining the line share or the revenue from our work later on. When you fight, you get it
right away.
That night, instantly, right? And I'm wondering if he's just like, man, this podcast shit is just taking forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yo, I need to go at least get in the ring. But the second thing that's also a little surprising, he said, I'll do it again. I think everyone wanted him to say, Mike, yo, I just wanted to prove to myself. We liked when he said that. I wanted to prove to myself I could still do this. But I'm good now. That itch has been scratched. Instead, he said, I think I might want your brother next. He said, I think I might want your brother next. And I think everyone looked at him. Even Logan said, motherfucker, I'll kill you. What are you talking about? and I'm being honest with you. I'm kind of looking at it like, hey, I'm all for Mike doing these exhibitions. I don't even think they need to be like real fights.
I mean, it wasn't a real fight. It was 8 rounds, 2-minute rounds with 14.
Still counts as record?
With 14. No.
Yeah, it does.
It was 8 rounds, 2-minute rounds with 14-ounce gloves.
Yeah, but
that does not go on a real boxing record. That was not a real boxing
sanctioned.
match.
No, it's still sanctioned, yes.
It was sanctioned, but you can't count it as the same as other fights where they're using 8-ounce gloves and 12 rounds.
We could put an
3-minute
asterisk
rounds.
by it, but officially Jake Paul has an extra win, and officially Mike Tyson has an extra loss. And obviously, I think Jake wanted that because now, go look it up. Which by the way, they negotiated those terms in terms of how long the fight's going to be, this and third, but it is an official fight.
I guess you're right.
It's an
It's
official
actually part of
fight.
the professional record, but I think it's kind of lame considering that it's not equivalent to their other fights.
Well, here's
in terms
the thing.
of the rules.
Well, here's the thing. I agree with you, Vlad, but I think part of getting us to buy into this was it being something for the record. Because when we seen, number one, Floyd fight the brother, which is Logan, people said, oh, this is why it's exhibition. They're not trying to knock each other out. People were like kind of cool on it after the first time. We seen Roy Jones versus Mike Tyson. And people were like, well, it's an exhibition. We're watching two legends go at it. They're not trying to kill each other. When you hear that there's something going on the record, again, as I said, it's a great finesse. We go into it like, oh, Mike is going to knock this guy's head off. This is real. This one is real. Come on now.